Hello guys, and welcome to a new Still Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 2 in a best of 3 between Guddi and Gal O'Neill, and this is round 2 of the Great Paradox Tourney. So in the previous video we saw Gal O'Neill take on Guddi and win with his 21st Panzer versus the 15th Infantry Scots on Hill 112. This time round it's up to Guddi to win this game. Otherwise, he will be knocked out of the tournament. He needs to now win 2 in a row in order to move on to round 3. Gal O'Neill only with the 1 win needed to move on. So this time round we're on Colleville, and 2 very different divisions for both players. We have quite stark contrasts to what was played in the last game. We have Guddi on the 2nd Armoured French Division, which is very different to the 15th Infantry Scots, and then Gal O'Neill is on the 352nd, which, you know, in the opposite kind of way, is very different to the 21st Panzer, both switching, you know, from like an armoured division to an infantry division and vice versa. So that's very interesting to see, and I think, honestly, if, you know, Gal O'Neill can prove himself on an infantry division after winning with an armoured division, that's very promising moving it on in the tournament, because versatility is definitely something that's going to come into play when you get to the later rounds, because people will be able to find out what you are good at playing and be able to ban those divisions against you and stop you from playing them, which means that versatility and being able to play multiple divisions is a very good thing, especially with the whole system that we have going on. So let's have a look at some of the units coming down. Over on the right side here with Gal O'Neill, we've got what looks like Osttruppen with the command infantry, some recon there, likely fusiliers, plus a flamethrower squad. Then we have the Kubel MG with recon in the mid there, and up on this top side we've got a couple units of infantry with Osttruppen. There's also the command infantry there. We have the IG pack combo. There's an IG up here, up here as well. That's the 2-star pack. That has the command nearby and also an MG. Over on the other side, we have Guddi with 3 M8 Greyhounds put down at the start. This is a pretty big deal, actually. It looks like he's going for some sort of hard push on the top side, accompanied by a couple units of infantry there, most likely voltages or something, just because they are nice and cheap. We do have what looks like a 50 cal in the mid with a unit of recon there, another voltages, I would suspect, voltages down the bot with another 50 cal and the recon. So it's really going to be up to Gal O'Neill to find the line of sight with this 2-star Pak 38 onto these M8s. Now these M8s don't really have any veterancy other than the 1-star they get given by the M3A3, so it's likely that the Pak 38 can do a lot of damage before the M8s can get on target. That is very dependent though on whether or not the M8s can get their 50 cals in range in time, because if they can, those M8s will do a lot of damage and definitely pin down a Pak 38 on its own very quickly. So yeah, it's just going to be a matter of whether or not Gal O'Neill can see this coming, because if he doesn't, you know, he could just end up unloading his AT gun pretty far forwards. It just gets pinned down and rolled over, and that could be absolutely devastating for Gal O'Neill, because sort of reinforcing with multiple AT guns at the beginning is quite expensive and generally can continue to get overrun quite easily, especially if then Guddi decides to bring in some mortars or something to just continue the push. It might slow down a bit if the mortars come in, because the mortars that the French can get in Phase A, I think, are infantry mortars only. We can see Guddi getting all of his units nice and tucked up here so that they are very fast to deploy. And that's exactly what you want to be doing before the start of the game. So here, for example, Gal O'Neill could probably squeeze up a bit more with some of these units. It's just a good thing to do with any spare time you have before the game starts, so you get to the places you want to be as soon as possible. So up here, a little bit of a traffic jam. We do see the M8s just charging ahead. They are very, very fast vehicles with those wheels there. The M3A3 being left behind. That could be a problem, actually. If the M3A3 stops giving veterancy to these M8s, they might be a little less effective, dependent on where Guddi actually decides to push though. Because he might sort of stop, have a bit of a staging ground, and then push all in one go with a sort of formation. But at the moment, currently just rushing on. AT gun coming to the mid. That is going to be accompanied by the command there, but nothing too much coming down in the middle side. Quite a large deployment for Gallo on the bottom compared to Guddi. We have two 30 cals unloaded, not even 50 cals. I really thought that they would be 50 cals because 30 cals, they just have the range. Pack 38, they're going to be killing off the Jeep when the M5 half-track is there. The M8s at the top side have been revealed, but this Kubel, he's in a bad place right now. That Pack 38 is so damn dead. This is what I meant. If the 50 cals get on target, the Pack 38 doesn't stand a chance. And at the moment, these Fusiliers now caught out in the open, absolutely annihilated. Osttroopen getting very up close and personal, but not going to last long either. And any infantry that shows itself at this point is just going to get rolled. So ideally what you want to do here is get these Osttroopen behind the tree line, so they can't be run over. MG42 is going to be dead very shortly. Grenführer here are also going to be dead once they get spotted as well. And yeah. The only thing that Gallo can do, by the looks of things, is bring in a Befehlspanzer 3. What I would like to see, though, is like double AT come in, as opposed to a Panzer 3, because he has to at this point. He just has to invest in as much AT as he can, because, quite simply, the M8s have rolled him over on this top side quite significantly. The M3A3 did get the wheel damage there, the track/wheel damage, so it is going to be moving slow for now, not completely detracked. And we're going to have to wait and see if this M8 can be taken out by a Pack 38. That's going to have to unload relatively early, I think. Otherwise, it's going to just suffer the same fate as the other Pack 38. It's also got to hit the mark. Nice. Bailed out one of them. It's got to do the same to the next one. Now, this does look really bad, but these are just armoured vehicles with 3 armour. So eventually what's going to happen is these tanks will be able to take back this territory, and although it's a +2 at the moment, it's not that bad at the start of the game. However, in the mid, it does seem like these voltages have put on quite a lot of pressure. Only the Alpha-Cladder there and the Kubel MG actually holding that back. This Pack 38 here definitely needs to be moved back from the mid in order to surround these vehicles. The IG is forcing the M3A3 back, but now we have the Spitfire coming in. Pack 38's left out in the open, and the Gruppe Spy are discovering those. 30 cal is pinning down the Osttruppen and the Grenführer here, which is quite a big deal, because that's now going to allow the half-track to just move up, and there's no AT really on this bottom side to stop a half-track from pushing through. And with this sort of salient here, it seems as though these half-tracks are just going to end up running down the Pack 38 with the help of the Spitfire, and that's the AT gun in the mid. This AT gun, I feel, should have definitely been starting to move towards this engagement very, like way sooner, basically. So the Befehlspanzer 3 are going to be going up against these M8s. M8s have way faster aim time, though, so this is very risky, especially considering the Befehlspanzer 4 only has 4 armor. Sort of peeking around the corner there wasn't a good idea at all. The Kubel goes down, and the Befehlspanzer 3 has weapon jams, which is not good. Ju-87 going to be coming in to bomb out the M8. You do see in the mid-air, the half-tracks have just pinned down the IG-18. The voltages dealing with the infantry, and the Spitfire is still strafing away. The map is really, really opening up right now for Guddi. He's definitely using this division as best he can, with the command infantry going down there as well. All of the other units surrender, and that's almost 65%. Yep, +3 for Guddi at the start of this game. Now, in general, you would want to see the French player be very aggressive in Phase A, and that's exactly what we've seen here. Gallo really just being overran by this M8 push, and now in the centre, with the help of the Spitfire, the Pack 38 goes down, and that's just going to allow constant reinforcements down the middle of the map, which is quite a big deal because this road is very easy to reinforce down. Befehlpanzer 3 goes down here. We do see the Pak 38 also pinned. That's being ran down by the half-track at the moment. And if that half-track gets around there before that recovers, then that's just going to be constantly pinned, and we'll just fast move to surrender it, most likely. And if he doesn't surrender it, well, it's just going to die, because at that close range, the 30 cal is going to do a lot of damage. And that's 77% territory lead. That is pretty insane. I don't think I've seen a game so far that's been this convincing. We have seen some early victories, but mostly because of surrender, not because somebody's got a +4 in the first, 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the game. That's actually kind of ridiculous. 77% territory lead, 78%, and that's only going to continue as Guddi makes his way to the spawns of Gal O'Neill. That recon there going to actually have to come in at the bottom side because the spawn was taken over, and if this spawn is captured, there is no chance for Gal O'Neill in this game, although it doesn't look like that way anyway, because you can see the reinforcements still coming down from Guddi. He's already gained this overwhelming lead, and yeah, that's pretty damn incredible. 86% territory lead. Guddi really taking this game back after losing the first one to Gal O'Neill. This is exactly what he needed in order to stay in the tournament, and well played indeed. It looks like the M8 rush still works after they did initially nerf the recon spy, the recon M8 spy. It was doing a lot of damage, but that's +5 now, 89% territory lead. Another AT gun coming in. I'm surprised, honestly, that Gal O'Neill hasn't surrendered this game so far. Can these Fusiliers take on those half-tracks? No, they cannot. Going to be surrendered even. JU-87 coming in with the bombing run. Going to be trying to make them fall back. This Pak 38 is just going to be ran around. There's no chance for it. Unless he can get the close range shot. Oh, transmission damage. Not even a kill. That is devastating for the Pak 38. The Pak 38 not knowing where to go either. Just going to be killed off there. 90% territory lead, +5. The only units holding out are these. And Gal O'Neill does surrender after 8 minutes and 8 seconds. Fantastic job by Guddi with those M8s. I was very suspect to what Gal O'Neill was going to do with this Pak 38s. I knew that something like what happened would happen, especially with the 50 cals coming down. If you're engaging at 1,000 meter range, then you have a couple shots in before the 50 cals actually open up. But with the way it deployed, the Pak 38 just got annihilated straight away, which wasn't good at all. But 675 kills to 175 losses for Guddi in a very short amount of time. The kills mostly coming in for those M8s at the start, with the M3A3 picking up a couple of kills as well. And one of the M8s ended up finishing off the Panzer III after that got hit and took multiple damage, multiple criticals. Losses, IG-18 took out a couple units of infantry, one of them being recon. Befehlpanzer 3 did almost save the day, but not quite. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Quite a cut and dry game. Well played by Guddi to bring this back to 1-1 in this series. Both players only needing one more game in order to move on to round 3. Let's see what happens in the next game, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there. Goodbye.